and happy Wednesday. Welcome to Moksha Grace Coaching. I am Michelle, and you are here because you probably got a notification or stumbled upon me. And this is my Wednesday live that I call a moment of presence. It's always good to take a moment, right, out of the week. And what better day to do it than Wednesday? So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you found your way here. And this is just a time for you to relax. And we're going to do some reflection today. Um, Today, we're talking about a topic that can be hard to swallow, right? It's about choices. And it's about choices being hard or uncomfortable. Now, what does Michelle mean by that? The answer is that it's in the consequence, right? What comes from the choice that you've made? And I know, again, that's hard to digest, but it is free will. And we make choices every moment. It's not about every day. It's not about every week or every month or every year. We're making choices every moment. You made a choice to tune in today. You made a choice to get out of bed when your alarm went off. Some of you may have stayed in bed a little bit too long and hit the snooze button too many times. You made that choice, right? And so today we're going to talk about what is better, right? I use the scales in the title page because we have to weigh out the consequences. Is it better for life to be hard? Is that acceptable? Is it better to be uncomfortable short term and get good consequences, right, after the choice that we make? So when you do that, right, when you're uncomfortable for just a little bit and then reach your goal, well, now it's freeing and it's empowering because you're somewhere different. Think about where you were last year. Think about where you were a couple years ago. And what choices led you here. Now, don't, turn it off and click out. And we're going to take you through a little bit of an exercise today to help relieve those feelings that come up for you about where you are today and the choices that were made, that were created, that got you here, right? We can't go into the past, magically get into a time machine. But what we can do is understand where we are now and start looking at things with new eyes, fresh eyes, new perspective, and start making choices from that place. So before we go any further, let's start how we've been starting. So if you've been here with me a few times, you know what we do. We're going to have our moment of presence. And that means that we're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to hold it for 3 seconds and we're going to exhale. Now, this week, because of the delicate topic, we're going to do things just a little bit different. I'm going to shake it up a bit. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give you some instruction while we're taking these deep breaths. And it's not just going to be one, it's going to be a few. All right. So if you're not driving, you can participate and close your eyes. If you are driving, keep your eyes open. I want you to be safe. And you can still go through the exercise with us. So what I want you to do is take a deep breath and just be here. Be in this moment. There may be other things to do after this, but not right now. Right now is for you. And I want you to be here now with yourself. Okay? And close your eyes if you're not driving. Get comfy in your seat. Wiggle around if you have to. Now I want you to take a deep breath in. I want you to hold it. 3, 2, 1. Let out a big exhale. Now I want you to do it again. Deep breath in. Think of where you are in your life right now. all the small choices that led you here. Big exhale. Now, if you feel any regrets or shame, blame, feel bad in any way, I want you to take another deep breath in. Let those feelings come up. I want you to acknowledge them. Let them know that you see them, you hear them. And then just exhale. Nice, calm. Imagine the heaviness just leaving you as you exhale. It's all in the past. Now we're going to take another deep breath in. I want you to think about the moments when you had to choose in the past, right? Sometimes we don't feel like we had a choice. Sometimes the circumstances happen to us. Hold. And then just, again, let those feelings go. Just exhale them out. Now I want you to take another deep breath in. And I want you to imagine today where you are right now. And I want you to imagine starting fresh. Hold your breath. Take another deep breath if you need to. Exhale out. From wherever you are right now, imagine deciding, making choices from inspiration instead of from fear. And then just let those feelings out. Sometimes we get fear about feeling fear. We get fear about change, right? And what that might mean to us. Just take a deep breath in. Is it possible to look at life from new perspective, new fresh set of eyes? And are you willing? And that's the big thing. Big exhale. Now, just kind of come back into your body. Feel calm. You should feel a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more present. Good. So life is about choices. And whether that is staying in a career when you wake up every morning and feel dread, staying in a relationship where you feel not good, and maybe you're missing that feeling of security, safety, love. No matter what you choose, life can be hard, right? It could be hard to leave a relationship and be alone. But it can be hard for a short term until you find your footing, right? And find yourself and move forward. Thinking about finance, right? When you're in debt, you have choices to make. You can continue to just grind away at work and try to make things work, try to rob Peter to pay Paul, so to speak. Or you can pull back, be more disciplined. And that can be hard too. But that's hard on the short term, because once you start saving money, now you have more money that you want, that you need, that you desire for whatever your goal is. So when we talk about hard, we can look at the consequences. What would it mean for you to stay in exactly where you are right now? Now, some people are very happy with their lives, and that's amazing and wonderful. And I'm glad you're here. And I hope you share in the comments. Some people have some choices to make. And looking at the risk, looking at the consequences is where you want to go. Because there can be inspiration there, right? It's hard to work out every day. But it's even harder to stay unhealthy, whether it's weight loss whether it's health, too much salt, right? High blood pressure. Which one is going to get you to the outcome? And which one is going to make life harder when you look at the consequence, the long-term consequences of that? So some people will allow the world to just keep going, and the choice is made by default. The choice is made by something outside of ourselves, or so we think, right? Whether it's universe, God, your choice of the divine, as I like to say, as my mentor likes to say and taught me. It's all about, are you going to allow it to happen, or are you going to take control of what choice or how that choice is made and what that choice looks like? We may say we want more freedom. And if we don't do anything about it, the universe, right? The world, life can happen, and we lose our job. Well, now we have more time. But is that exactly what we meant? So this is a little bit of what you focus on is what you get, the law of attraction, what you put out is what you get back in return. And so we do have to be careful, right? Because when we want something so bad and we put it out there, we got to be careful about how it comes back. We got to be more specific. We got to really think about what we want. I wish that I live somewhere different. Well, is that going to come because you saved money and you started looking for a new place to live? Or is it going to come because the landlord raised the prices and now you have to leave? And now you're in a worse situation because you don't know where to turn and what to do next. If you had thought about it ahead of time and been proactive, then maybe you could have saved, or you could have had more time to research and look around. So the other thing is that I want to say is doing nothing is also a choice, right? You're making the choice to allow something outside of yourself to make the choice for you, but it's still a choice and it's still yours. So here's how I want to help you make better for you decisions, right? Before you make a decision, before you make a choice, I want you to think about the consequences of that choice. Write it out if you have to. Which one's going to cause damage? Doing nothing, making changes that might be uncomfortable, but in the long run is going to turn out better. Risking a failure, but yet you're still moving forward, and so there's still change. So look at it and go, okay, which one is going to cause damage to me? Which one may be hard, but create freedom, happiness, gets you closer to where you actually want to be? And then I want you to remember that feeling of if nothing were to change, if it was a year later and you're exactly in the same place talking about exactly the same thing and trying to figure out what choice to make, right? Now, the flip side is you get to face your fears. The flip side is you ask yourself, why? Why am I willing to be stuck? Why am I willing to not make a choice? Why am I willing to allow something outside of myself to choose for me? What is it that's keeping me from taking inspired action? Why are you allowing? Why am I allowing this? So when you ask yourself these questions, I want you to go deeper. Ask why. 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, as many times as it takes for you to get to the feeling, right? The fear. Because honestly, everything comes from either fear or love. That's just how it is. And what would your choice be if it came from a place of love? Love for yourself, love of the life you want versus fear. So now that you're aware of the deeper truth of choices and how you can take control of your feelings and of those choices, what will you do about the situation? It's your choice. You can either take inspired action, right, from a place of love, from a place of longing and desire and passion and purpose. Even if you fall short, you still are on your way. You're still taking steps towards what you want. You've moved. You're not in the same place. And you've probably learned a lesson, and you're probably not the same person. And now the next choice is going to be different too. You're taking accountability. You're taking responsibility. And it's a feeling of being empowered. The feeling of being in control, right? Of your destiny. The choice is always yours. Always. So let me see in the comments. Powerful, so true. It's an uncomfortable thought to have that we're here because of something that we did, right? Because then that's like a blame, or, how can you blame someone else? It's your choice. But it's also empowering about the future. So don't focus on the past. The past is in the past. You can't change it. You just can't. It's there. But you can learn from it. You can really look and dive into the reasons that kept you there, right? Wherever that was. Look at the experience and the growth that you've had, or you haven't had, and that's okay too. Because again, there's good, bad, and different. No beating up on yourself. It just is. But from this moment on, what are you going to choose differently? What are you going to do about it? So I have a client that needed some guidance about her choices. And the choice was in front of her. You could see it in her face, in her body language as she spoke about it, because she was passionate, was full of purpose. But she didn't know the steps. She didn't know how to take the action. And so there was a feeling of defeat before she even began. If that doesn't change, then nothing changes. But if you take action, one small little action step, do one thing differently. I told one client, I told him, just do one little thing different. One thing in the morning. Whether it's if you make coffee first and then you take a shower first and then make coffee. Do one thing differently. Just one. One step is moving you in the direction of change, of what you want. And it comes from inspiration. If you look at the fear and go, okay, all right, cool. I fear that. That's hard. It sounds challenging. It sounds difficult. Oh, do I really have to get up every morning and go work out? But when you think about where you would be if you don't make the change and what that's going to mean for your life, and I'm talking 5 years out, 10 years out, maybe even at the end of life, right? We don't want to talk about that, but we need to look at that. If you never do whatever it is you really want to do, what's going to be the worst part of it being too late? So my favorite quote, and I'm not sure, maybe Krista can put up who quoted it. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. the next best time to plant that tree is right now. So, my friends, the choice is all on you. You have free will, and you get to decide for you. But do it from a place of love and compassion for yourself. Because your love and compassion will shine through to everyone else that you want to impact. I promise you that. So, are there any questions, any comments, any challenges that have come up around this for you that you'd like to share? Because that's how we learn, right? Is from each other. And trust me, you are not alone in making these choices. Yes, you can totally start small. You don't have to go up to 5 days, right? 0 to 5 days, whatever it is, working out, learning something new, trying to learn as much as you can at one time and then burning yourself out. How about once a week? When we wanted to go vegan in the house, we started small, right? Let's have meat 3 days a week. Let's have meat 1 day a week. And we tailored it down. Now we think intuitive eating, right? What is our body telling us to eat? We still monitor those choices that our body's making for us, but our bodies also respond to those choices. And we get to decide the next choice we make based on how our body feels. So if our body feels like, excuse my language, crap, and then we choose to eat the same thing the next day and we feel bad again, that was a choice that we made. And that's our own choice. And we have to own it, right? You can't blame anybody else for that choice. That's your choice. You can act like a boss, right? Assume that position, whether you have that title or not. You can still manage yourself as a leader because you're the CEO of your life. And how would the CEO of your life make those choices and those decisions for you? What would that look like? And so these are the things that you can think about. And these are the ways that you can move forward in smaller baby steps. But every step, have you ever done that before where you just look down and you just pay attention to one step at a time, right? One step at a time. And then all of a sudden you're much further along than you thought because you only focused on that one thing. Now, that doesn't mean to focus on the bug on the windshield, right? The problem on the windshield. That's a different discussion. And that's coming up. We're going to be talking about that too. I wrote out a whole month and a half worth of lives and moment of presence that we're going to be doing. And I'm really excited to share all of the value with you and help you think from a different perspective, help you see from a different perspective. You know, I do what I do, coaching others, helping, inspiring, change and action, because I've been there. I've been in your shoes. And I chose at one time to not do anything and just get through it. But who here wants to get through life? And I know a few of you that might be, fans of Couples Retreat are laughing because that's a quote from there. You really want to get through life together or get through your life? We want to enjoy life. We want to embrace it. We want to have fun. I was talking to another friend today, a client, and we were talking about your inner child and the difference between a temper tantrum, right? And when they just try to kind of wake you up, right? pull on your shirt and say, hey, we need to go have some fun. And why do we choose not to listen? Why do we choose to ignore those nudges, right? The poking, the tapping on the shoulder. Think about that. Why do we ignore those little messages from within? What are we so afraid of? So I hope I gave you some things to think about. And I hope that you're inspired to take a look at those feelings, at those fears, at those blocks that we put in our way. And sometimes we just need to be still. Sometimes we just need to be still and listen from within and choose from that space. Think about the future you. And what would she choose for you today? What would he choose for you today? And where could you be? So, thanks for being here. I love spending time with you guys. And I look forward to next week, live at 5, a moment of presence. And I'll post the topic so that way you can think about it. But please send me a message or comment below on if you've tried it, making these choices in the way that we talked about today, right? Reflecting on the feelings that are coming up, why they're there, and what would the consequence be of you doing nothing. If you can practice this on a few small choices and see what happens, let me know. Let us all know. Share your experience. Because when you move forward, you're going to get what you want. You may trip, you may fall. That's okay. You get back up. But now you're starting from a new place. You're not starting from way behind. You're starting from farther ahead. You're closer. So until next week, have a wonderful week. And I look forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye.